Good afternoon, my good people. It is a pleasure and a privilege to be with you again on this happy Monday. Just wanted to give a shout out to all the Capricorns out there. As I am a Capricorn, it is my birthday month, and I'm one of those people that tends to celebrate all month long. We're coming on to the last few days, but I've been partying hard, celebrating with lots of people, and I've been getting a lot of really good gifts, but this one really touched my heart. I told you before, I'm a big reader, and I believe that part of, my process for healing has been a lot of reading, journaling, insights into how what I read can affect my life, how I can put it to work in my life, and journaling is a big key. So a fellow Capricorn gave me this journal, and she too learns that way. So I wanted to share with you what's in the journal today. What's written on it, it actually came from a company called Inside Then Out, and the cover is Capricorn, a noun, and it reads wise, ambitious, responsible, successful, traditional, and supportive. And the inside inscription that describes Capricorn, of course, the dates are December 22nd through January 19th, for those of you who did not know exactly where the Capricorn falls. And it reads, Capricorn, as a cardinal earth sign, there is a great deal of authority and power living inside of you. You handle large amounts of responsibility with a unique poise and gracefulness. Your wisdom and work ethic make it natural for people to turn to you for advice and direction when they are lost. Practicality and creation is the gift you give to this world through your common sense and desire to make the world a better place. Your calling in life gives you access to tremendous ambition and ultimate success. What you put your mind to becomes manifest on this earth. And it resonated with me. A lot of those things I receive, and I know that of myself and a lot of people that I see. But it was just so touching to read it and receive it as a gift. Also inside the journal was a list of questions to kind of get people started if you didn't really know what to put in this journal or journal in general. So I thought it was pretty good. The first question that they posed, there's a list here, is who do you need to forgive? And that kind of goes back to part of the stories that I shared with you about my life. There's so much to share. We're going to get into so many things, but there were a lot of people to forgive. Starting in the very beginning, we talked about the first husband the last time, but it also says, what traditions do you want to maintain in your life? And that really hits home for me because there are some things that I am actively changing that I've lived with, learned through, but let's say an expansion of those ideas are now what's serving me. It says, what do you wish that people understood about you? And that's pretty key, because a lot of times we get a little too caught up in what people think about us. But I would like people to understand me. I'd like to be understood by those that I have an in with, that I have some sort of influence in their lives. It doesn't bother me that everybody like me or understand me, for that matter. They're not my people. I get that. But this card is super insightful. What is something you've sacrificed to achieve what you want in life? clearly I'm going to have some times of sitting down and dissecting some of this. These are really good points, good ideas. It says, who do you turn to when you need support? And I am so grateful, so grateful, because there was a time in my life that I felt that I didn't really have anybody to turn to. I felt that I was in this thing alone. Aside from God and I, it was pretty hard and pretty lonely. But that has since changed over the last, I'm going to say, 15 years or so. And I'm in just so much of a better place and feeling supported. And part of that is that I allowed myself to be supported. If you're a Capricorn and you're listening, you know that we can tend to be our own little islands, and we can do lots of things ourselves, and just movers and shakers, and it's one of those nice things, because you can make things happen, you can get things done, and people do come to you. And sometimes it's to a fault, but you definitely can depend on yourself. You know, you're not a super big procrastinator. Things can you can list things, and before you know it, things are taking form, and that makes you independent to a fault, because you still, I don't care how good you're doing things, how well you can work things out yourself. We're here to coexist and live with other people. One of the things that I've learned. Another point they ask is, what do you need from a person to be able to trust them? Yeah, that kind of feeds into that question before it, is who do you turn to when you need support? You know, you have to be able to trust people, and you have to ask yourself, what do you need to be able to trust a person? And that would help you to navigate the waters as to who you can trust, and opening your life up and yourself to people that you can trust once you know yourself a little better. What emotions are you avoiding? The love of my life tells me all the time that I am one of those people that keeps things close to my chest. I'm not a big crier or not a big emotional person, but I kind of feel that that's not true, because I'm the first one to, you know, be happy and giggle and laugh and cry when I watch the commercials on TV about the dogs, or the, you know, people being hurt and babies and things like that. But, you know, I guess I'm going to visit that in my time later. When do you feel most powerful? That's amazing, because that's what we should focus on. You know, that power, that zeal, that joy. You know, we should try to walk in that in life, to keep ourselves elevated. Where can you relax more in life? Good one for the powerhouses that are always running and never relaxing. Where can you relax more in life? What is the worst thing that could happen? So like this channel, just starting this channel, I was like, I don't have anything to do with social media. I don't like it. I don't like, you know, that people are talking about sometimes silly things, or, you know, people are they're losing so much time and, you know, scrolling through this and doing that. And, you know, I'm like, no, let's read a book. Let's do something that's actually going to benefit you. Right. That was one of my big things about not wanting to get before the camera too. And it was like, oh, I don't want people looking at me. I don't, you know, it's just not for me. But really, what is the worst thing that could happen? Somebody is going to come across this and say that, oh, I didn't like how she looked. I didn't like how she sounded. I didn't agree with what she said. And so what? If there's one person that can walk away feeling better about where they are in their life, feeling better about their process, feeling better about some of the hurts and the pains that they've had to suffer, and about waking up tomorrow, or getting up from their chair now, getting up from their bed now, and taking a step forward to make the day a better day, it is all worth it for me. That was was the deciding factor of me getting on here and saying, okay, listen, I'll let you look at my life. If you looking at my life can help in some way, then I'm walking in my purpose. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I am not that little island that's just set all apart by myself. I'm not that person that's not reaching out and trying to help. Social media is one of the biggest and best ways to help people. I mean, of course, everything in, when we don't use balance, anything could be bad. And that's what I was seeing when I was struggling with that. I was like, yeah, no, I don't want to do that. What is the best thing that could happen? The best thing is that I could build community. I could build community. I could make a friend. I could make a friend or two. I could be that person that just came across the screen at the right time, and that woman says, yeah, I made some mistakes, but she came out on the other side. And people didn't back her up, and family wasn't always on board with her ways. And, the church may have been a little hard to navigate, all those things. How do you define success? Lovely. How do you define success? That I am really visiting with that a lot lately. What do I want? What do I truly want? This channel is entitled, It's Your Time. Part of that is figuring out what you want. Success for this one and that one may look totally different. All we have to do is figure out what success means for us and employ that. How do you decide when to pursue things and when to know to give up? That was part of the last episode when I was letting you know what had happened in that tumultuous marriage. And when I knew it was time to give up, should have seen the writing on the wall, all those things, but it's a process. Life is a process. And I'm big on, I'm one of those people that I'm like, just tell me how to, the best way. Now, at this age of my life, I'm like, tell me how to get there with the least amount of pain. Tell me what I should be doing to avoid the potholes and the things. I will do it because I don't like pain. I have learned that. What do you value most in life? Yeah, that's part of your success. What do you value most? Peace, money, time, health, freedom in finances, freedom to have space around you, to be able to live the way you want, to be able to plant a garden, to live spacious, or maybe you want to live in a high rise around other people where there's plenty of busyness, life, and energy. In what ways can you be more positive? Oh my goodness. In what ways can you be more positive? I tell you, I will be sharing with you guys more and more about this piece of my journey. I am seeking. I am a peace seeker. I am a chaser of peace, a chaser of progress, self-growth, success for me and what that looks like. And I find that you can't do any of that without a positive outlook. Is it, rainbows and sunshine every moment of the day? No, it's not. But there definitely are benefits to being positive in your thinking, in your posture, how you carry yourself, the vibe you're throwing out to people, whatever that looks like to you. In the music that you play, the music that lifts you up, the foods that lift you up, not bring you down, just all those things. So, of course, I have another story, one of these really crazy stories to share with you, and I will be sharing that with you guys on the next episode. And because I did not always use wisdom, and I got married again. Go figure, got married again, and this story I think is even better. But I want you guys to have a beautiful and blessed day. Know that you are loved. I appreciate you. I will be dropping in the comments the name of a gentleman who has just been such a blessing to me. And whatever you put your hands to, you know, God will always give you help, always give you help. This young man, John Winters, he came in and just like lifted all the burden off of me for this channel. I mean, I can talk and I can share, I can do all those things, but I had no idea what to do about the techie stuff, like how to even start the channel. He's actually the son of my neighbor and friend, and he has been dynamic. So patient with me, telling me how to, just walking me through the process, doing my editing, making me look good. So big shout out to John Winters, and I'll drop his information in the comments below, just in case you're looking, knowing somebody who's looking. But I will also see you guys next time. We will talk more about one of those hands-on situations and stories to know when to say when, and to know when to be good to yourself. All right, God bless you. Have a great day.